Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. For all the censors out there, I want you to understand that we at the New Health Conversation are absolutely staying within the community guidelines. We don't quote anything that doesn't come from peer-reviewed human trial medical studies that are in the public domain. So the audience has a chance to see all the actual research that we're talking about. We've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, 1,500 live lectures around the world, and 20 appearances on public broadcasting. So everything we do it's all original research. It's all in the public view. Everybody can see it. It's safe and nothing. We don't make any claims because we don't need to make claims. We're just stating the medical studies. So I just wanted all of the censors to know that. So we stay within the community guidelines, okay? Well, hello, Kiki. Hello, Penelope. Hello, Vero. Who is it? Oh, I see Vero. I see Marlene. Hello, Marlene. Hello, everybody. So again, the diet secret is finally discovered. This is on the cover of Women's World magazine, the #1 magazine for women in the world. It just came out on June 9th, 2 weeks ago. And the bottom line is that I coached those 2 women. The daughter is 57. She's a nurse. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom was 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 3 years. I'd love for anybody to make a comment. What do you think about that story? Now I'm going to show you some more before and afters from the actual, what's so unique about this, it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. There is no other diet, nutrition, products, whatever out there that are on PubMed, which publishes all the major big studies. There's no evidence of any other company, or this isn't a company. This is not even there's no products involved here. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It was completely different, and it's going to shock the world. It's going to change everything you ever thought about diet, exercise, nutrition. So let's look at some other pictures here. Julie, for example, right here. Sorry, this is Kristen. Sorry. She lost 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in a month. How many of you would be excited about losing 20 pounds in a month with no exercise? They didn't let them exercise because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier, not because they were against exercise. You certainly can exercise if you want, but I'd love for any of you to put a comment in there. What do you think about that? And then we look at Julie here. Look at Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the difference in her body. That's almost a pound a day with no exercise. Now, I understand you're all stunned. You're probably thinking this isn't real. It's absolutely real. We didn't Photoshop anything. And the thing that gives us the credibility are these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, which you actually can see right above our head there. See it in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website for you to go to. I'm going to show you. All you would do, you'd go to Google, you'd type in the New Health Conversation. It comes up, you click on it, boom, there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing on there is the medical proof for all of you to see. This is so different. There's nobody else that we can find. Maybe we're wrong, but can anybody tell me an influencer you're following that's showing you peer-reviewed human trial studies? So let's talk about what she did, why it works, why it's unique, and why it's so different. But before, I want to show you one more picture. Now, this is a man, an older guy, and you know, you always hear when you get older, you can't lose weight. He lost 40.8 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. You see that, everybody? 40.8 pounds, 52 inches. But look at his blood work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. Can we get some taps? Can we get some likes? We're at 0 likes right now. Let's see if we can get some, we're getting some likes, okay? Oh, there we go. We got a few likes. So let's come back. I know everybody gets impatient. They want me to tell them right away. So let's talk about how in the world is this possible? Again, how many of you, I'd love for someone to put in the chat. I got 2 questions. One, does anyone know what the definition of a calorie is? The actual medical definition. In a year's worth of podcasts, I've had 7 people get the answer right, and yet you're all counting calories, and for the most part, none of you understand even what a calorie is. I didn't 24 years ago, so don't feel bad. The researchers who created this are considered, they don't have any products. By the way, everybody, there's no products here, okay? This is going to be new food combinations you're going to be introduced to, and 2 completely new ways of eating that were what they used in this to create these unbelievable results. The other thing, that picture is about 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. The key to this is maintenance. The key is not can we get the weight off you. The key is teaching you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite you. So let's talk about what they did, the researchers, okay? So these researchers had done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people, and literally every diet you've all been on. And what they found was this, that although all the people on all these diets lost weight initially, listen to this, 2/3 of the people that they studied over 40 years gained more weight than they lost, okay? Secondly, the weight that they were losing, because they did the analysis, okay? They did major analysis, blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis. And of the pounds people were losing, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. One of the most unhealthy things you could ever have happen to yourself, because when you lose lean muscle, number one, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you all plateau in these diets. That's why you come off the diets and get everything back. But also, when you lose lean muscle, we'll get into that more in just a moment, you also slow down your own immune system. So you're literally, by counting calories, doing what you're all doing right now, you're making yourselves unhealthy. You're making yourselves much more vulnerable to the attacks of viruses and bacteria, etc. Just sharing with you, right? So the researchers said, wait a minute, we need a new approach. And the new approach was this. Can we go and find foods and forget about calorie counting? Get calorie counting out of your mind. Can we go and get foods that have high degrees of nutrition and not necessarily large amounts of food? So 30% of what she consumed, or what you would consume on this, you'd actually go to your local grocery store, you get a grocery list, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of calorie amounts, you have serving sizes. Very important, serving sizes, okay? And those serving sizes were calculated by the researchers to give you the most amount of nutrition, but in the smallest quantity of food. That was 5 days a week. Sorry, that was 30% of the food you consumed from the grocery store. Now, here was the key to this whole thing. The other 70% of the foods came from other researchers. Now, these researchers, there's no product. We don't sell you in. There's no products to buy here. It's food. But these other researchers have gone around the world for the last 20 years in places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with large amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food. So far you got it? So far we talked about the two different kinds of foods they're going to be eating. Then they created two new ways of consuming food. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods. Now, what was also different was they called this protein pacing. What that meant was there were specific times, like how much time between breakfast and lunch. How about between lunch and dinner, and then dinner and the fourth meal? So the pacing they found, so it wasn't a question like she had 2 meals, the same amount of food with all this nutrition. That didn't work. They had to spread it out over about 8 or 10 hours was the most effective way to do this. And nobody was hungry. And they weren't even hungry when I tell you the next part. So 5 days a week, you're having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, you're having no food from the grocery store. And you're doing a new concept that'll spin all of you out called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not regular fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted. In those days, you're fasting with nutrition. No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time you'd be eating 8 times a day. That's what she did. She was eating about every hour and a half. Diabetics, there were no insulin spikes. There were people who weigh 500 pounds on this, they're not hungry. See, you've never been hungry for calories. Did you all know that? Your body has no idea what a calorie is, and obviously none of you do either, because no one's putting in the chat, what's the definition of a calorie? So this is revolutionary. And look at the weight loss. Look at that. 5 pounds, 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. And no one in these studies was allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Again, can we get some more likes? We have 9 likes. 9? Really? This is life-changing information, not my research. But are you not interested in how to lose 21 pounds in a month with no exercise? And then we go farther and look at Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. With no, look at her body. Look at the body change, all of you. Aren't you interested in that? And this is back, the only medical proof in the world on diets and nutrition and weight loss protocols, and you have it at your fingertips. You can go and see the free medical proof. See right above her head there in blue, the new health conference. It's free to go there. Again, can we get some more taps and get some likes going? We don't even have 10 likes yet. And again, let me show you this picture. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Most people think this is a different woman. I mean, 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. Again, look at her face, arms, look at her body. She shrank with no exercise and no loose skin. Again, aren't you fascinated by this, all of you? Come on, let's get some more taps. Now we got 100. Now we're starting to make some progress. And this is live, everybody. I'm willing to answer whatever questions you want to ask me. And then this man, an older man, Where do you see this, everybody? If I can just find it. Oh, sorry. 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his blood work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides 242 to 124. Look at his stomach. His stomach basically disappeared in 30 days. Aren't you all? Come on, we've got 100 likes. Let's get some more taps on that screen. Come on. It's not about me. It's about getting the algorithm so we can get more people that can understand how this is possible. So let's compare again. So how is eating 8 a day sustainable? Well, Sabina, it's a wonderful question. She's only doing it as in the phase to get to maintenance. She's only doing it 2 days a week until, depending on, in her case, she pretty much lost all her weight in 30 days. So then she went on maintenance. Maintenance is one of these exotic meals for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then do the 48-hour, 8 times a day, about every 2 or 3 months. Because you didn't let me get to the main part of this. The main reason to do this is not just the weight loss. The main reason to do it is not even the maintenance. The main reason is because you and me and everybody have this new medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. T is for toxins, D for deficiency of nutrition, O for being over, and S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. So what they did in the medical studies, unlike any other study ever, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and see what's happening to all of us. And the reason, if you look at day 1, see the bloating in her stomach, we're ingesting these chemicals in water, air, and food. And as they enter the body, to protect us, takes that chemical and stuffs it in the fat cell, and those fat cells expand. You can see it in her waist. Look at day 30, she basically has a flat stomach. In this only ever diet ever where they did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, proving that this was helping remove toxins from the body. So again, the reason that you want to do the 40, once you get to your goal, now we have people who need to lose 100 pounds, so obviously they're going to basically do the 48-hour eating 8 times a day for however, 2 or 3 months. Like my friend's daughter who lost all of her weight here, let me show it to you. So she did 3 straight months. So it meant that basically every week she was doing 2 days, the 48-hour, the 8 times eating a day. So it's 100% sustainable because you have to understand it's not a fast. You got to understand it's nutritional fasting. It's fasting with nutrition. And it would have never worked with regular food from the United States, even if it was organic. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Because these foods around the world have low quantities of food by volume, by bulk, and high nutrition, the body's able to create the same energy, not the same environment as a fast, but without the downside of a fast. See, if you fast for more than 22 hours, you absolutely 100% start to burn your muscles up. I don't care what anybody's telling you. That's a fact. And I know people do religious fasts. That's okay. All I'm giving you is the downside to it. And the downside is that but past 22 hours on any of these programs, you're losing your lean muscle mass. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise at all. So hopefully, does that answer your question? That was a great question, by the way. I just want to make sure that I addressed it. So, but when you look at, and this is Andy, 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days. Look at his A1C, 7.9 to 6.2. But look at his bad cholesterol, from 120 to 59. Yes, thank you. Be visiting the. Oh, good, Sabina. So that makes sense. And Sabina, I don't rush people's answers. So if it wasn't sufficient, then go there. And Sabina, this is what you do. So you type in see it there, the New Health Conversation. Give me a yes. There's the website. Click on it. Boom. There's a website. There's nothing to buy. And Sabina, if you like what you see, scroll down, get a free coach, and they'll go over your specific what you want to accomplish. Listen, Sabina, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with kidney transplants, people with no gallbladders, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. This is going to change the world. I mean, Sabina, have you ever seen numbers like this? With no exercise, 5 pounds a week, 21 pounds in a month, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. But the big thing, Sabina, is the detox. And that occurs because you're doing that 48-hour intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. No fast has ever produced this. No diet has ever shown to remove any chemicals from our body whatsoever. It takes to raise 1 gram of one. Absolutely, Bill. Wonderful. Somebody got the question right. What's a calorie? Okay, I'm going to tell everybody now. Bill, wonderful. It's the amount, well, actually, Bill, you're a little bit off. Sorry about that. It's not the amount of energy. You were close. But I'm going to give it to you anyway, okay? It's the amount of heat it takes to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. It's not a real thing, all of you. Why ever you're counting calories, your body doesn't count calories, doesn't give a darn about a calorie, has no idea what a calorie is. Let me repeat. Bill, great job, except it's not energy, it's heat. It's the amount of heat it takes to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. That's it. So you're all counting calories. You might as well be counting sheep. It has no impact on your weight loss. And that's what these researchers proved. Because, oh no, it's all, Francis, all over the world, free coaching wherever you are. The only thing we ask, Francis, when you fill out the form for the free coach, you need to have a WhatsApp phone number. That's free to get WhatsApp. And they'll WhatsApp or they'll Zoom with you, one of the two, because if they're going to coach you, they have to be able to get in contact with you. So make sure when you go there and fill out free coaching, when you put your phone number in, make sure it's a WhatsApp phone number, okay? Does that make sense? Sabina, you're so welcome. I really appreciate your question. And I think, Sabina, when you go there, one of the most important facets on the website for all of you, there's a podcast with the #1 nutritional weight loss researcher in the world. Wait till you hear that. He's the one, he and his team did 100 studies over 40. They're the top people in the world. They've looked at every diet out there. And you know what he says in the interview? They will never recommend any traditional diet ever again to any of their patients. They said it would be unethical. They said, Peter, why would we put people on diets that take them 8 weeks to lose weight, and up to 40% of the weight they're actually losing is lean muscle mass, and 2/3 gain all their weight back? We got people losing that much weight in a week and gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle. Sabina and everybody else, can you imagine, Sabina, with no exercise? Most women on this lose a whole dress size in 7 days. Men, 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week, and no one was allowed to exercise. They're not against exercise. So if you like exercise, you can do it. Again, that's why you need a coach. That's why you talk to the coach. Oh, Bill, that's so nice of you to say that. He's saying, how did I do it, Bill? Bill says, I've changed his life. I'm not sure how I did that, so I'll be really anxious to have you put it in the comment. So anyway, Francis, does that make sense? So the coaching's free. Francis, again, thank you. Yes. So Francis, did you hear the explanation of, because I'm happy to repeat it, because we got all kinds of new people coming onto this all the time. And that's, people get on me and get to the point, get to the point. Relax. Relax, everybody. This is real science. This isn't a sales pitch. And I think it's important that you understand. I'm going to share with all of you now just briefly, and then I'll come back and I'll do a deeper yeah. So again, Francis, you heard me explain it then, correct? That's why you want to get a free coach along with Sabina and hopefully everybody else. Now let me share with all of you the medical proof about why diets are failing. The first one I want to read from is from Harvard Medical School. The title, Stop Counting Calories. This is what Harvard Medical School is saying. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. Let's be clear. Now let's go to the next big one. The title of this one is Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. Our researchers found that while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more than they lost. They went on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. That's why you're gaining weight. Just one of the reasons. So you're going, 2/3 of you are going on these diets to gain weight. Really? Did you know that going into this? But this is the one that's really amazing. This is from Medicare, a new study. They just came out because they're trying to bring healthcare costs down by figuring out how people can lose weight because they would pay for the weight loss or whatever it is, right? Listen to the title. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The researchers found that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Why are you counting calories? And our good friend over here, Bill, told you what a calorie was because none of you knew, or at least you didn't say you knew, right? So, again, can we get more taps on here? Encourage more people to share. Absolutely. This is world-class information. And we're only at 100 likes? Really? Come on, everybody. Tap on the screen. Let's make those lights explode. If you like the content, don't tap. If you don't like the content, don't tap. I don't want you making fake presentations. So again, is anyone of the new people probably coming on, are you curious? Would you like me to explain how in the world did she lose 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days? How did Julie lose 35 pounds in 37 days? And how did my friend's daughter, April, lose 60 pounds in 3 months? And how did this older gentleman, Curtis, 40.8 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? Are you curious, anybody? Please put in the chat, and I'm happy to go over exactly from scratch what they did. How did they? It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about exercise. And nothing to do with any of that. So would someone like me? That's it. Now we're getting up there. We're 330. Come on, let's really get some taps on that screen and really make this thing really go today. So who else would like to ask me a question? Let's come back to the, I guess, the main poster. So the other thing, the diet secret is finally discovered. There's 10 new peer-reviewed human trial studies. This is on the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, on June 9th, 14 days ago. And the mom and daughter, I coached them. The daughter's a registered nurse. She's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom who is 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months. So together they've lost 140 pounds and they've kept it off for 3 years. That is proof positive. That's the #1 women's magazine in the world. Again, wow. Bill, a friend of Marge, attended 3 seminars in Bentonville. Hiring coaches, would love to. Yes, we're looking for coaches, Bill. Let me put the website where you can go and contact us. The new health. So Bill, I'm placing, hold on. Okay, can you see it right there, the new health conversation? Bill, go there and you can fill it out and just put in there that you're from Bentonville, and I'll reach out to you personally and get you in charge of who's in charge of all the coaches. We definitely need coaches. There's no question about it. So perhaps that's something that you'll be very, very interested in. Thanks for your comments. This is incredible. Okay, so for any of the new people coming on, who would like to ask me a question about how in the world did they do that? How did the mom and daughter lose 140 pounds and they've kept it off for 3 years? The daughter, 57, lost 50 pounds in 3 months, and the mom, who's 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off. Is anybody curious? GPA, hello. Oh, I see you up there on top as well. Thank you. Thank you for being #1. I love. But everyone, we're only at 365 likes. Come on, let's get going on that screen. We got to get to at least 1,000. I'm used to 10,000, etc. Best Farmer said hi. Hi, Best Farmer. How are you? So Best Farmer, right above your name there, the new health conversation. That's the medical website you can go to and see all the medical proof. Oh, okay, Bill. Well, give me a call then if you have my number. Just don't put it out on social media. I got enough people contacted me. I know you won't. It's okay. So who else would like to ask a question about, well, let's be more specific. How about Kristen, 21 pounds, 38.75 inches in just 30 days? Who would like to ask a question about that? Anybody? We must not have a very big audience because we only have 365 likes and I've only had a few comments. I would like to know how. Okay, good. Thank you. Finally, somebody. Helene, thank you. All right, Helene, I'm going to explain it to you now. So, Helene, first, let's go backwards. Let's find out who invented this and how and why. It was invented, Helene, by the top the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They'd done 100 clinical studies over 40 years, thousands of people on every diet out there. And here were the conclusions they came to. One, every person, every time on every diet lost weight initially. But sadly, Helene, 2/3 of the people over the course of that 40 years gained back more weight than they lost. The third part that was even more damning was the fact that on every diet, because they did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, and muscle analysis. In every diet, now remember, these are the top people in the world. They don't have any opinions. They have no products. There's no product to buy here either. This is food. We're going to explain that in a moment. But they found that 25 to 40% of whatever weight you lost on any diet was absolutely lean muscle mass. Now, why is that so bad? Because when you lose lean muscle, not only does your brain have to slow down your metabolism, but it also slows down your immune system. So you literally are making yourself sicker and unhealthy by going on these diets, by counting calories and lowering the amount of well, let me explain to you why diets don't work. It has nothing to do with counting calories. Everybody get clear on that. Bill Oren, he gave us the answer. A calorie is simply a measurement. It's the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. It's not a real thing. You don't count calories. You don't crave calories. Well, you can count calories. I don't know why. So the research said the only thing that mattered to the body was one principle. This is why we're alive, and that is we have a minimum amount of nutrition that we need in order to run all of our organs at their maximum. When you go on a diet, all you're doing is lowering the, Helene, when you go on a diet, you lower the amount of food you're consuming. I don't care what the name of the diet is. And by doing that, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. When the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition to run all your organs at max, that's why people are so exhausted when they're on diets. They don't have any fuel. And what the body's doing, the brain shuts down the ability of your body to access the fuel in your fat cell, which is the way we're supposed to run, and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down. As you lose the muscle, your body slows down your metabolism and your immune system. So the researchers, knowing this, said, we got to do something different. And what they did was very unique. They said, we're going to go find foods. We're going to identify 30% of the food you would consume, Helene, on this, you're going to buy at your grocery store, organic. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. However, nothing to do with calorie counting. Nothing. Zero. Only to do with serving sizes. Because what were the researchers doing? They wanted you to be able to get nutrition. They didn't give a damn about calories. Okay, so they picked those foods and that you get the amounts. Like it tells you on proteins, how many ounces. When we're talking about vegetables, cup size is a third, a half a cup. It's all laid out for you. And what sequences. Okay, now, so that's 30%. The other 70%, and Helene, this is the critical part. These researchers who have no products to sell, we have no products to sell, they found other researchers that had gone around the world to places like Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods or nutrients, either in huge amounts or nutrients that don't even exist in North America, to be part of this eating plan. But remember, they have the foods now, but they don't have the new way to eat. So they invent two new ways of eating based on these only 30% from your grocery store and 70% of these high-impact exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day, Helene. You'd start in the morning with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner. That's called protein pacing. Notice the word pacing. Why is that important? Because they found in the experiments, like if you had, say, lunch and dinner and skip breakfast, and you had the same amount of nutrition, it didn't do the same impact in the body. The secret was spreading it out. That's why it's called protein pacing. So 5 days a week, those 4 meals, not 3 meals, not 2 meals, 4 meals. 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, Helene, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, you'd be eating 8 times a day, every hour and a half. We have people 500 pounds. They're not hungry on this. See, they were never hungry for calories. That's what's warped about what we're doing. Our body, satisfaction comes from having enough nutrition, not enough calories. That has nothing to do with it. So there's the result. 21.2 pounds, 38 inches in a month, and no, she wasn't allowed to exercise. They were Fitbits proving they didn't exercise. Now, the research is done against exercise, Lean. Don't hear that, right? But the key, let me tell you one of the big keys to this, Lean. Maintenance. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's been able to keep the weight off now for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds, Lean, in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That should interest all of you. That should be one of the big things. But here's the other thing, Helene, that's so important. You and me and every person in the world now suffers from this new medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of a new medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxins, D for deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. Peter Greenlaw, oh, I guess that's me. I guess I did discover it. What does it mean, though? It means that we now know that we're breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, and our body's taking those chemicals to protect us and stuffing it in her fat cells because the immune system can't deal with it. So if you notice her stomach on day 1, that's the expansion of her fat cells. The bloating is being caused by the chemicals. That's it. People go, oh, I'm bloated. I got all this fat on my body. Yeah, because your body's trying to protect you. Well, the researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis. This is removing chemicals from the body. And instead of her losing any lean muscle, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle in a month with no exercise. Her stomach went down because of the detox. Secret's out. This is a detox, but a real detox. Do you know that if you go to PubMed, there's not one commercial product on there on PubMed with any proof that it's detox, weight loss, etc., except there's 10 of these. 10 peer-reviewed human trial, the only ones in the world. This is the only process in the world that ever has produced this kind of weight loss, but all these other health benefits, like being able to maintain it for the rest of your life and detoxing your body. The goal is maintenance. Wow, is maintenance simple? Guess what maintenance is? You have one of these exotic meals for breakfast every day, 2 normal meals, and then every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Once you get your goal, that's why it's called R2M, race to maintenance. And you get free coaching. You can see right above your head, the New Health Conversation, Lean. That's a free medical website for you to go to. And if you go there, we won't contact you. Why wouldn't we do that? Because we don't need to convince you. The medical proof will convince you. Once you've seen the medical proof, then you can choose. You see right, free coaching. You scroll down, you get a free coach the whole time, not just the initial, all the way through and teaching you how even to get the right. I tried to look up the products to order online and could not find them. Is there a specific? Yeah. Change is difficult if you understand. Okay, so I'm going to type the website in for you to go to, Tammy. It's this right here, the New Health. Because Tammy, it's not just about what you order. It's about how you take it, when you take it, etc. You'll see it pop up here hopefully in a second. Do you see it there now, Tammy? I just posted it. The New Health Conversation. Go there, look at the medical proof, and then you get a coach, and they'll look. It's not like, okay, here are the ingredients. Go for it. That is not how this works. 50% of this is what you're going to consume, and the other 50, maybe more than 50%, is how you consume it, when you consume it, all these new patterns. But Tammy, are you interested? I'd love for you to put in the chat, Tammy, how excited would you be if you could lose 21 pounds in a month with no exercise and keep it off for the rest of your life? And I have no idea how much. Maybe you only want to lose 10 pounds. But Tammy, also you have to understand, we got kids as young as 2 doing this. We got a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant, people with kidney transplants, no gallbladders, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. But Tammy, the thing we have that nobody else have are these 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Nobody else in the world has them. So why would any of you follow these influencers that are giving you opinions? Because that's all they're giving you. They're not giving you medical proof. Oh, let's do keto, let's do paleo, let's do Mediterranean, let's do time-restricted eating. Do it if you want. It's your own peril. You're only making yourself unhealthy because you're losing lean muscle mass. 25 to 40% of what you lose on any of these stupid diets is your lean muscle mass. Slowing down your metabolism, you plateau, and then you're going to gain all your weight back, but also slowing down your own immune system. Why would you be doing that? If you knew, which now you do. You can't ignore it. You can't pretend you don't know what I'm teaching you. And none of it's my research. I'm called the researcher of the researchers. Now, granted, I wrote 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on public broadcasting. I've been interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America and did over 1,500 live lectures around the world in universities and towns. Universities, hospitals, towns. And 2 years in a row, I get to speak at Autism One, the largest autism conference in the world. Huge honor for me. But I got to tell you, for 22 of my 23 years in the medical world, all of that, you know what it meant in the medical world? 0. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. You can hit the reset button for the rest of your lives. Stop this dieting madness. None of it works. My God, even Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. This is Harvard. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated. It's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what the researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to recognize that diets are miserable, miserable failures? This isn't my opinion. Here's Medicare. For all of you new people, come listen to this huge study from Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. That's the title of the study. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. That's not me. So you're following these influencers that are telling you these diets work. Listen to what they did. This is real science, not hyperbole. Our researchers reviewed studies. This is Medicare. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed long-term studies of outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether calorie restriction or any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? Why are you counting calories? Yeah, I get really animated. I know I make some of you mad. I'm sorry. It's my passion to help all of you. For crying out loud, we're here to help you. We don't sell anything. We don't have any products. We coach you for free. Someone coached us. I just had someone over there already saying, geez, I'd like to be a coach maybe. So anyway, Tammy, does that make sense? Did you see the website there, Tammy? Give me a yes. And on the bottom, I'm going to put the website for all those people as well, the New Health Conversation. And I'll show all of you how this works, okay? So here's the website, everybody. Type in the New Health Conversation. See it there? Boom, Google, there's the website. Nothing to buy, only the medical proof. We will not contact any of you if you go to that website. No way. We don't have time. But if you go there and you like what you see, you get to decide. You want a coach? It's free coaching. Scroll down, get a coach. Oh, the part I didn't even tell you about. It'll say on the website, 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify that. 30% of what you're going to spend your money on. So take last month's food budget, take 30%, you're going to spend that at your grocery store. The other 70% of what you spent last month, or maybe a little bit more, or maybe the same, maybe even less, you buy directly from these suppliers, not from us. There's no middleman. The 70% of what you spend, that's what we're talking about, they'll give you 100% of your money back guarantee, no questions asked in the first 30 days, because nothing's 100%. But this is almost 100%. You show me any other diet where they give you basically 70% of your money back if it doesn't work with no questions asked. You're buying food. You have to eat anyway. That's what's so great about this. There are no products. This is not lotions, potions, pills, supplements, shots. No, nothing. Nothing like that at all. Yeah, more muscle, more energy. That's for darn sure. So who else would like to ask me a question? So Helene, does that make sense? I know that was a long diet, but you have to understand, Helene, because we have the medical proof, you have the right, before you make a decision about something so important to your health, your weight is your health, whether you know it or not. And for all the people out there that think they're thin and they get some bypass on these chemicals, no, you don't. They did a big study, 300 fit athletes, and they did MRIs on their body. And they found around the brain, the kidney, liver, heart, breast tissue, prostate in men, this white halo of this toxic fat where the body is storing these chemicals has nothing to do with the way you look on the outside. It has to do with the way you look on the inside. Everybody's toxic. There is nobody that isn't toxic. To give you an idea, they did a study about 8 years ago on newborn infants. They looked at their cord blood at birth. Every baby they tested had an average of 287 toxic chemicals in their cord blood at birth. If a baby's that polluted with toxins, how toxic do you think you are? And no diet until now has ever touched toxins. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this was helping the body get rid of the toxins. That's why it's called a detox. So the secret, right up here, Mel said this diet secret finally discovered. It's a detox. A detox, but it's safe. It's medically, nobody else, you've got to understand any of these other detoxes you hear about. There's not one shred of medical evidence. They're just making claims. Oh, a foot bath and what? No, that's not nonsense. Nonsense. Without a peer-reviewed human trial study, don't go near it, including diets. Why would you do it? I'd love for somebody to tell me, what diet do you think you're on that's going to work long term? Because all the research is saying, no way. I mean, another one. Why you shouldn't count calories, everybody. Well, counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term. The approach. calories in, calories out, has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight they'd lost. They went on to give you a reason. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, two factors that are known to cause weight gain. Do you understand? 2/3 of you are going on diets to gain weight? That probably makes you mad. You want to punch me or something. I mean, I'm a nice person. I'm just giving you the one thing about us that's unique. We only give you medical facts. We don't give you anything else. But let me read the medical explanation of why calorie counting can't work. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained. And where they're wrong here, they're talking about calories, they really are talking about nutrition. So when you reduce the nutrition to the point there's not enough to run all your organs, your brain automatically turns your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you gain all the weight back. It's not something I'm making up. It's in the scientific literature. It's proven that every diet you're on right now, 25 to 40% of any weight you're losing is lean muscle mass. And yet you all can go to that website. It's free right there above Women's World, in blue, the new health conversation. See the medical proof for yourself. An interview with the podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He'll tell you after 40 years, they'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again. He said it would be unethical. I mean, again, if you can do this, you all know, what do you average? Again, be honest with me. Put it in the chat. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Pick any diet, any trainer, any gym, any routine, fast. I don't care what you do. Tell me, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds, which she lost in 30 days with no exercise, and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. Oh, one, God hands shared, share, followed. Helene, it makes complete sense. Good, Helene. Helene, are you motivated then to go to the website and check it out? Free, Helene. Let me show you one more time, Helene. I think you saw that before. It's the new health conversation. Right there, you can see it. Click on the web, boom, there's, and show, it features it's featuring the cover of this Women's World magazine because it's such a big deal. This is #1 women's magazine in the world. You think you get on the cover of that, any of you, if this is a scam or it's not real? They don't take that chance. This is not, you can't pay to be on the cover. And it's a news story. They go on inside to write a really big article. Well, it's 2 full pages. Let me see if I can find it here. I mean, I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's better than that. And that's why, but we're the only ones in the world that can back it up. So look at this, everyone. The new protein miracle diet. That's from the magazine. That's their headline in their article. Where it caused me to lose weight, but it caused hair loss, perimenopause. Yeah, Michelle, I'm not surprised. Michelle, are you ready to make a real change? Are you ready to change the rest of your life? That's up to you. It's not up to us. But Michelle, how impressed are you with that and that she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years? Do you know, Michelle, most women on this complain they have to get their hair cut about every 2 weeks and their nails grow like crazy. Why? Because they're getting massive amounts of nutrition in smaller quantities of food. You could never do this if you try to rely even on 100% organic food, because the food in North America is becoming more and more nutritionally insufficient. We just don't have as much nutrition as we used to. So that's why the researchers went to find other researchers who'd gone around the world to find foods that still had huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. Michelle, that's why this worked. But just give me a comment. How excited would you be if you could, first of all, Michelle, to lose 20 pounds, how long would you have given how long did it take you, or how long would you say even now? Yes, causes issues for Hashimoto's disease and hypothyroidism. Michelle, we have people with no thyroids, Michelle, no thyroid at all, let alone Hashimoto's, goiter, hyperthyroidism, etc. No thyroid and losing weight, Michelle, you would understand how unbelievably incredible that is. We have a man who had a heart transplant. We have people with kidney transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. And the cover, this mom and daughter. The daughter is 57, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months. Michelle, and they both kept it off for now 3 years. Instead of losing hair, they're gaining hair. Their nails are growing. Like I said, women get mad at me and say, I have to get my hair cut every 2 weeks. I said, wow, that's really a bad problem. Because, Michelle, you have to understand that whatever you, it takes me a while to lose at 40. Well, okay, look at this, Michelle. How about that guy? How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days with no exercise? I'm sure he's a lot older than 40. Look at his stomach. Or my friend's daughter, look at this. 60 pounds. Now, she's not 40, she's about 30. And I know her. She's a friend of the family. I mean, she's one of our friends' daughters. But Michelle, what do you say about that? 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her midsection. What do you think about that? Yeah. Michelle, it's almost like it's too good to be true. I do 3 or 4 of these podcasts a day, and I know that I'm creating skeptics. But Michelle, what you can appreciate is this is the only program in the world ever with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Michelle, they did 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, and came to the conclusion that no diets worked. And that's how they invented this, because it wasn't based on calorie counting. It was based on a totally new concept of nutritional density. So literally, if you did this, Michelle, let me show you. Let's go back here for 5 pounds a week. Essentially what they did, the researchers put together a grocery list that she got, but only 30% of the food she bought last month, she'd buy this month, and very specific foods, not based on calorie counting, Michelle, but on serving sizes, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And again, she got a list of serving sizes. So for example, protein, how many ounces? How about vegetables? Cup size, a third or half a cup, whatever it was, depending on the vegetable. It's all laid out. There's no guesswork. That's exactly what she did. But notice, Michelle, I only said 30% of what you consume. The other 70% came from other researchers. The researchers who created this don't have any products. They don't have a company. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. But these other researchers had gone around the world, Michelle, for 20 years, finding these incredibly dense food with huge amounts of nutrition in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And so the researchers used 30% from the grocery store and 70% these exotic foods around the world. Then, Michelle, they created 2 new ways of consuming food as you go through to get you maintenance. Michelle, the whole thing here is maintenance. It's not a question, can we get the weight off you? That's like the booby prize. No, the key is to keep the weight off you. So what did they do? 5 days a week, they let her have 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, Michelle, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. That's called protein pacing. Now, pacing, why is that important? Because the researchers proved when they tried to do, like, say, 2 meals a day with the same total quantity of food for the day, but they broke it into 2 meals, it didn't work. It was the time, breakfast, then a lunch, then a dinner, then a 4th meal. That's why it worked. No, and listen, Michelle, nobody was hungry, okay? Then 2 days a week, and this will spin you some, but this is only till you get to maintenance. She did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. On those days, now notice, you heard the word fasting, but it's not fasting, it's not water fasting, it's not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, Michelle, you'd eat 8 times a day. You'd be eating every hour and a half. We had people weighing 500 pounds, they didn't get hungry. We had diabetics had no insulin spikes. Do you know at the end of a month, Michelle, that they measured hunger had gone down by 41% in all the participants? Because remember, it was never based on calories. It was never based on the amount of food. It was based on the amount of nutrition. When your body, Michelle, has enough nutrition, you'll never crave anything. You won't be hungry because your body, that's the only thing your body really cares about. You give your body less nutrition than it needs to run your organs, your brain will cause you to eat your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you plateaued, Michelle, on the diet. That's why when you went on the diet, you probably gained everything back. I'm sure you did. But the other thing it did to you, Michelle, by losing lean muscle, you also slowed down your own immune system. And it's not like you went back to eating normally and your immune system got turned back on, or your metabolism or your immune system. So you literally made yourself unhealthy by going on those diets. You didn't know any different, but now you know different. So Michelle, again, that's why I would encourage you to go to the website right above our head, the New Health Conversation. We won't contact you. And if you like what you see, scroll down, you get a free coach. So let me show you again. So what you do, Michelle, go to Google, type in the New Health conversation. Boom, there's the website. There's nothing to buy on there, Michelle. It's only the medical proof. And if you like what you see, then you get a free coach, free the whole time, Michelle. It's not a gimmick, any of you. It is not a gimmick. It's free coaching. Does that make sense? So, Michelle, I'd love your comments. I mean, is it exciting for you? Is it something that you can see? Well, here's what I'm saying. Does it make sense? That's what matters. Does it make sense? I mean, I'm a scientist, so obviously it makes sense to me, but unless the audience understands what I'm trying to convey to them, then I'm kind of wasting my breath. Yes, I'm going to check it out. It makes sense. Good, Michelle. Thank you so much for coming on. Would you be pretty happy, Michelle, if you could lose 20 pounds in a month? Would that like blow your mind? It still blows mine, to be quite honest with you, because most of you are used to what? Like maybe a pound a week, all these different diets and things that people have tried. Good, Michelle. And Michelle, just one more thing. I triple check. You understand if you go there, we're not going to call you, phone you. We don't do that. You're not going to get harassed. When you get a coach, their job is not to convince you or sell you. We're thinking that you've now looked at the medical proof and you've decided that you want to find out how this could work for you. And that's what the coaches will go over. You'll get the grocery list that you'll take to your grocery store. They'll show, the coaches show how to order those foods. Oh, I forgot the most important part, Michelle and everybody else, and Bill. And Bill, you never even saw this before. But the researchers, along with us, created what's called the Blueprint for Success. It's actually daily videos showing you exactly what, not just what you're doing on those days, but why it's healthy, etc. And included in here, you'll be able to read it. You can see the schedules, and also the recommended food list, and the little squares that you see my finger on day one. Each day is a daily video with the researchers who created this, explaining to you that it's safe and why you're doing it and why you want to do it in specific orders. You're literally getting educated by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. Free. All that coaching is free. The blueprint's free. Somebody asked me this morning on my podcast, how much is the blueprint? No, it's free. The only thing you're purchasing, nothing from us, you're buying from your grocery store, about 30% of whatever you spent last month on food, and the other 70% from these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That's what makes it work. Without those foods, this wouldn't work. I mean, it's just that simple. And the researchers, I'll be honest with you, when they started these studies about 13 years ago, they didn't know if this was going to work. It was a theory. But man, does it work. Coach, please. Spinal, energetic. Okay, so spinal. Do you see right above her head there in blue the new health conversation? Please give me a yes. I want to make sure you can read that. Spinal, energetic. I'm talking to you, spinal, energetic, South Bayside. South Bayside. South Bayside. Are you, where would that be? Is that San Francisco? Maybe it's California. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I want to make sure, spinal, energetic, that you understand you go to the new health conversation, see the medical proof, scroll down, and then you get a coach for free. So please acknowledge. I just want to make sure that number one, you can see the website, and number two, you understand that's how you get a coach. And it doesn't cost, there's no sign-ups, there's nothing to join. They're there to educate you, and if you want to do it, then they'll be your coach the whole time through, from the beginning until the end. All right, I'm going to show all of you again. So if you want to go to the website, anybody, you go to Google, type in the new health conversation, and click on and it takes you right to the site. And the only thing there, those modules, they're all the medical proof backing up everything I'm saying. I don't want any of you to believe me. It's not my research, so that would be kind of silly for you to believe me. We're the researchers of the researchers, but you get to see their research and their explanation of why and how she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month and has kept it off now for 8 years, which is the most important thing. So who else? Oh, we got 1,100 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. I've been negligent. I haven't been encouraging you to all tap on that screen to see those, to give us more likes. Who else would like to tap on the screen? No, we're not tapping on the screen. Who else would like to ask me a question? Is anybody coming on new and wants to know how in the world did she do that? Because I'm more than happy to repeat and go over what I have been sharing with people all on this podcast now, which is approaching almost an hour. And I'm not going anywhere. Maybe somebody wish I would. Look, everyone, don't you think the evidence, when you look at something like, to give you an idea, Michelle, or spinal energetic, Here's Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to you like any of these diets are working? And I've read to you over and over again, or not over and over again, but many of the studies. But let's go to a study that'll really shake you up. This is the Journal of the American Medical Association. The title of the study, listen to me carefully, Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. What they did in this study, the Journal of the American Medical Association, world famous journal. So they looked at 48 unique clinical trials, 7,286 people, 12 months. And they named, in the study, they named all the diets: paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, water fasting, the Cornish diet, the zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, South Beach. They named all the diets. At the end of 12 months, when they compared the most amount of weight loss to the least amount of weight loss, didn't matter what the diet was. You know what the difference in weight loss was across all those diets in a year? 10 ounces. You heard me, 10-ounce difference. And the weight loss, they said, after a year was 16 pounds, and 25 to 40% of the weight that the people lost was lean muscle mass. I mean, see, no one's arguing that you can lose weight initially on all of these diets, but then it slows down, and then you start gaining the weight back. But let's look at the shots. Hear me out. I'm not against the shots. What are we talking about? Ozempic and trieploside, in this case, semaglutide, Ozempic. There's a whole bunch of them, right? Wegovy. No, not Ozempic, Ozempic. Sorry, that song on TV. Isn't it Ozempic? Isn't that the song? It drives me crazy. So let's look at the New England Journal of Medicine. Now, keep in mind, we're only reading from the study. You make your own decision about what you think about it. So in the study on semaglutide, 68 weeks. That's a year and 4 months. The weight loss after, I'm reading from the study, the weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. They went on to say this weight loss, this clinically relevant reductions in body weight based on this study. Wait a minute, Kristen lost 21 pounds in a month and lost no lean muscle, gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Or Curtis here, he didn't get the memo, I think, about, he missed out on the semaglutide. He lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. I know it sounds out of the box for all of you, but here's what I would challenge all of you to do. Then, okay, prove us wrong. But by proving us wrong, go to the website and look at the interview with the podcast with the #1 weight loss researcher in the world. Can you take a chance this isn't real? What if this is real? I know you're skeptical. What if it's real? And no other diet has ever proven to remove any toxins from your body until now. And these researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. Nobody else has that. Nobody in the whole world. This is life-changing. This is the dawn of a new era in health and longevity. Do you know some of the nutrients that you would get on this come from areas of the world where people are living to be over 100 years old and they don't get sick? That's what I want to put in my body. You're not going to buy it at your local grocery store. Sorry, it doesn't exist there. Only 30% of what you're consuming is going to come from your grocery store, whether you live in England or Ireland or Madrid or South America, whatever. That's it. Because some of these nutrients that are in here are not native even to Europe or to South America. They're in places like Russia, Mongolia. Well, how about Tibet in the Himalayas? So these are very specific, specialized nutrients. It's not just that lots of nutrition or nutrients, but these very specific that do things like lower stress in your body. Or, for example, we have medical proof for the first time ever. This protocol lowers inflammation. They lowered, in a month, they measured it by 25%. No diet has ever touched inflammation. And inflammation is the underlying cause of about every disease out there. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, and preventing any medical diseases, or curing diseases for sure. But my God, if you could bring your, I'm not making a claim when it's in the medical study for all the censors. It's in the public record. People can go and read it. It's not something we made up. It's not a claim. It's not a claim when it's in the public domain. But all of you, wouldn't you like to reduce inflammation in your body? Why wouldn't you? Because you all have it. Whether you know it or not, you all have inflammation. And the older you get, the worse it's going to get. So who else listen? Yes, but it should. We need to be easy to get. It is easy, Penny. It is easy for everybody to get. Go to the website and the coaches set you up. You buy directly from the suppliers. You have your own account. There's no membership fee. Hell, you have to pay a membership fee to be part of Costco. No, there's no membership fee, nothing. It's simple. But teaching you how to do it is really important because how you do it is at least 50% of the benefit, if that makes sense, Peggy. Penny, I'm sorry. Now I just saw you. I need to lose. Well, Penny, be honest. How long would you give you? Say you weren't on this podcast today, all right? And it's live. You're really talking to me. So I'm not an AI. It's not Photoshop. Maybe you wish it was, but I'm not. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds, Peggy? Mom's Kitchen. I'm gonna explain to you in a moment. But Peggy, if you don't mind, and then Peggy, I'm going to walk you through exactly what they did along with Mom Kitchen. Okay, so let's talk about how did this come about? Okay, so Mom's Kitchen and everybody else is listening, okay? The researchers who created this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. 40 years, they did 100 studies, thousands of people over those 40 years, and figured out why diets don't work. And it's really pretty simple. If you're counting calories to lose weight, stop. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. I'm going to tell you what a calorie is. I don't usually, but Bill Ostendorf in Arkansas got it right. A calorie is not a real thing. A calorie is the amount of heat it takes to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. That's it. So if you're counting calories, why? So the researchers figured that out. Stop counting calories. We got a new approach. The new approach was your body, my body, everybody's runs on one principle, one thing, Penny and Mom's Kitchen. And that is, Penny, 2 months. Okay, follow with me, Penny. What the reason diets can't work is when you go on a diet, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, Penny, but what are you also reducing? Nutrition. When your brain senses not enough nutrition to run all your organs, your brain, heart, kidney, liver, which don't run on calories, by the way, Penny, they run on nutrition. Your brain goes in starvation mode and turns your muscles into fuel. That's why you lose weight initially, then it slows down to a trickle, then you plateau and you probably gained all your weight back, Penny, or you probably wouldn't even be on this podcast today. It's a physical thing that the brain does, but also even more damaging to all of us and you. When you lose lean muscle, you also slow down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by going on these diets. So what did the researchers say? We need something new. We, the researchers, are going to pick out foods with high levels, they call it nutritional density, but more nutrition in less amount of food. So they put together a food list that you would get, Penny or Kitchen's mom. You'd go to the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But here's the twist. Instead of giving you calorie amounts, for the first time ever, they're going to give you serving sizes that they've determined from a nutritional standpoint. Don't worry about the quantity of the amount of food. Understand it's the amount of nutrition is the only thing that matters. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. So you're going to get a list that you would take to your grocery store. So whatever you spent last month on food, figure about 30% this month you're going to spend on this protocol because you have to eat. This is starting the first month. That's what it is. You're buying basic a month's worth of food. There are no products. So 30% from the grocery store. What about the other 70%? Now here's what makes it work. Here's why you could never do this with regular food, even if it's organic from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or Sprouts, which I do shop at. The other 70% comes from these other researchers who'd gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find nutrients that had large amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the two food groups, right? 30% from your grocery store, 70% from these, I call them exotic foods from around the world. But you know what the researchers call those foods? They call them the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. And that's the only thing you care about. So now they have the ingredients, but they don't have the recipe. So they invented two new ways of consuming food, Penny and Mama. 5 days a week, you would eat 4 times a day, Penny, 4 times a day. You start with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner from the exotic foods, the world's most perfect meals. That's called protein pacing. Now notice the word pacing. What the researchers proved, for example, if they gave people the same amount of food, the same amount of nutrition from these sources, but they ate twice a day, it didn't work. Why? Because the body needed more time to process specific amounts of food. They needed time in between breakfast and lunch and dinner and the fourth meal, okay? 2 days a week, they did something, this will spin all of you out of control, intermittent, listen to the second word, nutritional fasting. I didn't misspeak. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you're going to eat. You ready for this, everyone? 8 times a day. What? Yes. You're eating every hour and a half. That's why it's nutritional fasting. So there's tiny amounts or small amounts of food if you looked at the amount of the food, but it's about the nutrients. That's the only thing your body cares about. We got people 500 pounds. They're not hungry. And in a month, they proved it. People's hunger had gone down in 4 weeks by 41%. In 2 weeks, all people's cravings were gone. But listen, that's the tip of the iceberg. In a month's time, people's blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically. And the big one was, for the first time in history ever, they measured inflammation, which we all suffer from, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. It went down 25% in a month. How would you all like to be able to lower your inflammation in a month? But it gets better. The key to this, that picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. Look at her stomach. Look at how much it went down. Why is that? Because one of the other benefits of this is a detox. And it's attacking this medical syndrome called TDOS, T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, new medical syndrome, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that's me. I did discover it. What it means is we're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. Well, did you see the thing 5 weeks ago? They're finding microplastics in our brain and in our hearts, in our coronary arteries, really? But you've got herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon in your bodies. This protocol, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing chemicals from the body. That's why her stomach shrank. Because what we're doing is we ingest this stuff, the body to protect us, because the immune system can't deal with herbicides and pesticides. It takes the chemical and stuffs it in your fat cells, and those fat cells expand. How many of you are complaining about the weight you have? It's how much fat you have on your body. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. People tell me, remember women telling me this all the time. I mean, it's just crazy. Look at her stomach in 30 days with no exercise, no sit-ups. Because the researchers didn't want exercise to be part of it, not because they're against exercise. Get that through. I want to get the point across. What do you all think about that? Does it make sense? No, Catherine, you weren't listening. Listen, Catherine, let me explain it again. Intermittent nutritional fasting. It's fasting in the sense that you're eating small quantities of food, but not fasting in the side, like on a water fast where you get no food at all. No, you're eating listen, Catherine, you're eating 8 times a day. 8 times a day. You're eating every hour and a half. Catherine, we have people weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry. Because you've got to understand the whole thing is warped. This whole thing about counting calories, your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why are you counting calories? Catherine, a calorie is nothing more than a measurement. It's the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Nothing less and nothing more. That's why, I mean, we got people, listen, Catherine, you don't have to believe me. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. From Harvard, the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. Says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard. Stop counting calories and concentrate within our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. So here's the thing that I would suggest you, Catherine. You can go to the website right above her head in blue. It's free to go there. We will not contact you. But listen to the interview. It's a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. Have him tell you they'll never recommend any diet you've ever been on. This is not fasting. Please get that out of your head, all of you. It's I know it's revolutionary. It's new. It's, whoa, my God. Whoa, what's intermittent nutritional fasting? I just explained it to you. It's fasting with nutrition. But the quantities of the food are small enough that the body's going through well, I'm going to tell you right now. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis after each of these 48 hours, showing that the body was getting rid of these chemicals that are stored inside our body. No water fast, no diet has ever produced any toxins leaving the body. This is a real detox. As a matter of fact, you'll notice the first slide. Diet secret finally discovered. Guess what it is? It was through detoxification. So I coached these 2 women. They're friends now. The daughter is 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom's 80, she lost 90 pounds in 9 months. Together, they lost 140 pounds, and they've kept the weight off now for 3 years. That's one of the main reasons to do this is maintenance, being able to maintain whatever. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And you're also detoxifying your body. That's why your fat is, and don't let anybody tell you burn fat. That is the biggest lie on the planet. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and they either shrink or expand over the course of your lifetime. There's no such thing as burning fat. It's just nonsense. It doesn't exist through diet or through exercise. Now, to be fair, about 10% of your fat cells turn over of you, meaning the minute they die off or they get used up, the body replaces them. So the net amount of fat cells never changes. And your fat cells can expand or contract. That's it. You're not burning them. Unless you do liposuction or surgery, it's the only way you could reduce the amount of fat in your body. And why would you want to do that? Because fat has really chemical properties that can be helpful as long as you don't have too much, as long as the fat isn't too expanded. Do you know most women in this lose a whole dress size in the first week with no exercise? Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in 7 days with no exercise. Imagine when you exercise. I'm going to show you a picture in just a moment of what happens when you do exercise. Look at, a nutritionist just came on. I'm a nutritionist. He's 100% correct. Catherine, I know the system. I know the system. I've been on it. Well, good. Why aren't you still on it? That's what I'm wondering. No, Catherine, it's not fasting. You're saying it is fasting? No, it's not. It's intermittent nutritional fasting. I mean, I'm sorry to disagree with you, but it's not fasting. Fasting is the absence of all nutrition. It's pretty much water fasting with no nutrition. That's a true fast. That's what it really is. So there are all these gimmicks, like time-restricted eating, etc. Catherine, I'm on your side, okay? And understand that we also now, even if you did it before, we've now developed with the researchers, okay? Because remember, 30% of what you're going to eat, you don't have a list of those foods and what are the serving sizes, but it's all contained in this blueprint for success. And those yellows there are all individual daily videos. I doubt you ever saw this before today. I would doubt you did, because this is revolutionary. Even though we may have used some of the things that you took before, they weren't doing this protocol, which is called R2M, race to maintenance. I mean, you just look at the results. They're insane. And I mean, I look at this is my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, and she's kept it off for 8 years with no exercise. Look at that, everyone. I'd love anyone to comment. Is it the same woman? First of all, let's start with that. Because a lot of times I get accused of, whoa, you got a different model and put her in the same dress. No. Well, look, what's your opinion, everybody? I appreciate your opinions. Let me know. Look at her face. Look at her arms. I know it looks like a different person, but that's what weight loss can do if it's done in the right way and it's healthy and you're not losing lean muscle mass. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass and wasn't allowed to exercise. What? Again, look at that, everybody. And we have 1,600 likes. Come on, can we get some more taps and get up to a couple thousand at least? But it's really nice. I got a nutritionist on. I'm a nutritionist, and he's 100% correct. I like it when I'm right. But it's not me that's right, okay? Let's be honest. It's these are the top researchers in the world. They're the ones that proved it. They proved that calorie counting was dead, over, finished. There had to be a new way. I mean, Catherine, I'm not sure when you came on if I had read this, but I'm going to read it again for everybody anyway. Johns Hopkins Medical School, big study. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. They went on to say by 2048, in 23 years, they project that 100% of Americans will be overweight or obese. Does that sound like to any of you that diets are working? Does that sound like what you're doing now makes any sense at all? Because you're all counting calories and the human body has no idea what a calorie even is. Let me go one step farther. I keep telling you this is the only protocol in the world with peer-reviewed human trial studies. Well, let me back up that statement. So PubMed, in case you don't know, is where all these big medical studies get published. It's like a giant library for medical studies. So keep in mind, there are no products. What these researchers did, there's no products. It's food, and then it's the medical proof, right? So listen to this. As of June 15th, which is what, 8 days ago, There are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trial studies on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox products for toxin removal, weight loss, or health promotion. None. Zero. Except 10 of these. Do you see what a big deal this is for all of you? This is for your life. This is for your health. This may be for your significant other or your spouse or your cousin or your friend or someone you work with or somebody at church. This is going to change the world. This is making every diet completely obsolete, unless you've ever seen anything like that before. Or when we look, this is the one I think is so shocking. That's an older gentleman, 40 pounds in a month and 52 inches. But look at his lab work. That's what should impress you. His A1C blood sugar, 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides, 242 to 124. Can anybody show me anything like that? What would it be? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what diet you think has ever produced that. Because these researchers did 40 years of research, 100 studies on all the diets you're on. They gave up after 40 years and said, we never found a diet where 2/3 of the people were gaining more weight than they lost. And 25 to 40% of what everybody lost on all the diets we analyzed was lean muscle mass. Do you understand why that's so wrong? Because when you lose lean muscle, your body, the least of the problems, it slows down your metabolism, and that's why you gain all the weight back. But did you know when you lose lean muscle mass, you slow down your own immune system? And sadly, I can address that. My younger brother in 2011 was diagnosed with kidney cancer. My brother was 6'4". And from diagnosis until he passed away, it was 8 months. And when he passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. I saw him waste away. When people have cancer, one of the things, the treatment, you got to do the treatment, right? But one of the side effects, they lose their appetite. And so what happens is the body, to run the organs, because they're not getting any food, they're not getting much nutrition, the body uses their muscles for fuel. That's why they end up as skin and bones. That's my brother. I could carry my brother in my arms. He weighed 115 pounds. You have an incredible opportunity to change your lives if that's what you want to do. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired in terms of the weight? You lose it and then you gain it back. You lose it and you gain it back. Or you're just accepting the fact, well, I lost 20 pounds, I got another 20 to go, but I'm not going to diet anymore because I've plateaued. Exactly. But that other 20 pounds, it's probably going to come back according to all the medical research. See, we don't give you opinions. If you want opinions, there's plenty of people on social media that will give you opinions. Okay, Penny, the bottom line is you're going to spend so take your budget from last month, Penny, whatever that was. I don't know what it is. You don't have to tell me. But 30% of what you spent last month, you'll spend at your grocery store. The other 70% goes towards these exotic foods. Most people tell me their total food bill is about the same. At worst, maybe $25 more a week. I don't know, because I don't know what you spend on food. But here's the key. That 70% you're going to spend with those, listen to this, Penny, that 70%, those researchers, not us, because we don't sell you anything, they'll give you 100% of your money back in the first 30 days if it doesn't work. Now what's the value of this? You have no risk. Here's your risk. You don't do it and you go on a diet and you lose weight and you gain it all back and you're going to be miserable and tired and you're losing lean muscle mass. Peggy, again, 100. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website, when you sign up for the free coach, it says 100% money back guarantee. But I need to be clearer, not the 30% of the food you're buying from the grocery store, they're probably not going to give you a refund. No questions asked, by the way. Nothing's 100%, of course. But hell, this thing is probably 90. That's why they'll do it. You think she wants a refund after losing 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? And now she's kept it off for 8 years. And Peg, how affordable is maintenance? Because it's exotic foods for breakfast every day. It's less than a Starbucks coffee or a super lot, whatever those things are. I would say it's like $4 or $5 a day max. But that's breakfast every day. That's your breakfast. You're not buying oatmeal or cereal or bacon and eggs. No. This you're having every day. Because why wouldn't you put the world's most incredible nutrition in your body at least once a day? And unless you're on prescriptions for like low iron or maybe a calcium deficiency, you don't need any supplements. You don't need any other supplements. This is supplying you with massive. They analyzed this and said to equal the equivalent to this, if it was a supplement, you need about 600 a day, 600 pills. There's 400 or 500. These food groups around the world have massive amounts of nutrients, variety, 400 or 500 different kinds of of nutrients. You're investing in yourself. Are you worth to create something that will last you for the rest of your life and it's sustainable? I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. I wouldn't think about in the morning not having one of the world's most perfect meals for breakfast. Why wouldn't I do that? So, foods around the world. Catherine. There are things like, I'll give you two examples, like something from Mongolia, they're called adaptogens. They lower stress in your body. They're not available in the United States. There's elements that come from Tibet and the Himalayas that massively lower inflammation in the body. We've got the medical proof to back it up. Things like 70 trace ionic minerals. Now you can get 20 ionic minerals in organic food in this country. The researchers found a source that has all 70 trace ionic minerals. Okay, so what's the solution? Meb wants me to answer that question. So the solution is this. It's not a diet, it's not about counting calories, and the researchers who invented this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. I'll give you the simple version. The reason diets can't work is a diet has nothing to do with counting calories. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. It's the most ridiculous thing we ever came up with. The only thing your body cares about is the one thing that runs all your organs in your body, and you need a minimum amount of this. It's called nutrition. When you go on a diet and you lower the amount of quantity of food you're consuming, and that's every diet, you lower nutrition. When you lower nutrition, the brain figures out there's not enough fuel and basically starts to convert your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you've plateaued. That's why you're on this call. You've plateaued or you've slowed down on your weight loss and you want to know what's going on. This is what's going on. But the other thing it's doing by losing lean muscle, you're also slowing down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by any diet you're on, we're on, whatever. So the researchers said we need to find foods with more nutrition, even though there's less quantity. They put together a food list that you would get. 30% of what you consume came from the grocery store, a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. Remember, these experts calculated the foods they wanted, so they gave sizes based on nutrition, not on calories. Nobody was hungry. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Sorry, I didn't finish. So 30% of the food she consumed came from the grocery store. I forgot the most important part. 70% of the food she consumed, we were just talking about that, came from other researchers who'd gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition or nutrients that I just went over, like from Mongolia or Tibet, that aren't even available in the United States at your local grocery store. And they had the two groups of food. Then they created 2 new ways of eating. So 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods around the world: breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. And that's called protein pacing. Now, Mabe, what's really important is this. The timing mattered. So protein pacing means you had breakfast, then lunch was how much after that. Then from lunch and dinner, how long was that? And then dinner at the 4th meal, that was really important. The timing, the pacing was everything, okay? So it's not just like you're eating 3 meals a day, you're eating 4. But when you eat them and the time between it, we go over all that. The coaching's free, coaching's free, coaching's free. 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. You talk about the solution. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, and you eat them 8 times a day. It's called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, you're eating all through the day. We have 500-pound people. Nobody was hungry. Diabetics, no one had insulin spikes. And in a month's time, they proved that hunger went down 41%. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down dramatically. 2 other things that had never been seen before. The diabetics on this, their need for insulin went down 41% in a month. And the big one, inflammation, which we all suffer from, it went down 25% in 30 days, okay? So Meb, you can see right above her head in blue the new health conversation. You can go there and see the medical proof. The medical proof is there. If you go there, Meb, we will not contact you. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and you see free coaching to ensure your success. The coaching's free. Something else I didn't tell you, Mab. So the 70% of the money you'd spend in a month for food, because you're buying a month's worth of food, 30% of the food from your grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods. Those people that supply the exotic foods will give you 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days, and you don't have to have a reason. So you have no risk, basically. 30% of the food, because you have to eat anyway. So 30% of your food you're buying from the grocery store, they're not going to give you a refund, but they'll give you all your money back. And it's so, you think she wants a refund after losing 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? I don't think so. We got 2,000 likes. Come on, everybody. Can we get some more taps? More taps. Uh, 48 Josh, yeah, what would you want me to spit? Josh, what you don't understand, I'm only quoting from peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Do you understand that's irrefutable medical evidence? So I'm only sharing what's in the, none of it, I'm the researcher of the researchers. But Josh, you might want to know, I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I appeared 20 times on public broadcasting. I've been interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. I've done over 1,500 live lectures around the world at universities and hospitals. They even flew me to China. I was a keynote speaker at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. I kind of think I know a little bit, Josh. Penny, it's the new health conversation. You need to type in the. Penny, let me show you again. Hold on. Type it. See, Penny, look, the new health conversation. The first one right there. It's the top one. It shows Women's World at the top. That's where you go. You got it, Penny, now? Got it? Penny, are you sure? Again, let me show you one more time. The new health conversation. Boom, Google, it's the first one. Got it? I know there's things there about my books and Tito syndrome and all that, but that's the one you want to go to, the new health conversation. Got it, Penny, now? So Josh, facts means fact. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Can you verify? You... Good. Okay, Penny. And remember, Penny, we're not going to contact you if you go there, but you can sign up for free coaches. That's what you want to do. So 48.v, I'm still trying to figure out what's your point. I mean, again, it makes no logical sense. What do you mean facts mean facts? I'm only sharing these are in the 10 biggest medical journals in the world. This is the medical proof. It's irrefutable evidence. It's been researched or verified by the top medical doctors and researchers in the world. I don't think that's you. I'm not sure if you're challenging me or trying to challenge me. I don't understand what your point is. There's nobody else on all of social media. As a matter of fact, I'll prove it to you, Josh. So a lot of these companies are making claims about their products. This is from PubMed. If you're familiar with PubMed, it's the library where all the medical studies in the world get published. I just had someone challenge me on this a couple of days ago. This is from PubMed. As of June 15, 2025, there are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trials on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox, toxin removal, weight loss, or health promotion. So all 10 of these are on there because there are no products. It's a completely new way of eating. It's completely new combinations of food. There are no products to buy. This is real medical proof. And I'm not trying to be confrontational, but I just want to be clear about what claim you're making. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what you're saying. This isn't my first rodeo, okay? I've done about 500 of these podcasts. I've done 1,500 live lectures around the world. I've been interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, so it's not my first rodeo. So again, 48 Josh, did you disappear? Have you gone? I mean, I'm happy to have a civil conversation with you. I just, I'm not quite sure. I don't know, somebody else maybe can interpret what he's trying to say. Catherine, I guess to be unconfused, just talk to a coach. When I say products, what I'm talking about, you're not buying lotions, potions, pills, capsules, things like that. You're buying food. When I say that's what I'm referring to. And that's what they're talking about in these, you see this stuff. I saw one yesterday now. There's a new supplement coming out if you're doing the shot to build lean muscle. There's not one shred of medical evidence. It's just a claim. You see things like Relaxium. You see Super Beats. None of those have any medical proof at all. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about a specific, like a capsule, et cetera. That's what I'm referring to, if that makes sense. Catherine, did the site look like this? Wait till it comes up. Hold on, I'll hold it on the screen for you. It needs to have the Women's World at the top. Is that where you went? Is that where you went? I must have gone on the wrong site. Yeah, I think you did. So again, Catherine, hold on. The new health conversation. Is that where you went, Catherine? Did it look like that? Well, Catherine, here's what you want to type in. Just look in blue there, no spaces. The. Make sure you put a the in or you won't get there. The new health conversation. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. The new health conversation. Does that make more sense, Catherine? Catherine, acknowledge that you see that with no spaces. The new health conversation. Okay. Good. Good. And Catherine, what I'm saying to you, when you go there, once you see the medical proof, then get a coach, and they'll show you everything, including the food lists and this. Here's the main thing that you are going to need is the Blueprint for Success, which are the daily videos showing you exactly what to do, how to do, why to do it, with the world-class experts. And the coaches are free. They're going to be there the whole time with you for free. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause confusion, but it's really important. People type in new health conversation. No, 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 no. It's the new health conversation. Does that make sense to everybody? Good, good. Catherine, you're number one. You must like what I'm doing. I really appreciate it, all of you. Wow, we're at 2,300 likes now. Come on, let's get some more taps on here. Let's get up to at least 3,000. Come on, everybody. Who else would like to ask me a question? So I don't know what happened to 48V Josh, my new friend or antagonist or whatever it was. Gone. So who else would like to, how curious are you on how any of the new people, how curious are you on the new health conversation? Well, how did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month with no exercise? Isn't that cool? Isn't that just amazing? So who else would like to make a comment? Oh, I can see we're an hour and a half. Okay, well, I've been on longer than I thought. All right, if no one else has a question, then I'm going to rest my voice, I'm going to just take a break. So it's now 2:40, almost 2:45 on the East Coast. So let's just say I'll do another live in about, let's say I'll do one, let's say 2:45. Let's say it's 2 hours, 2:40. It's 2:40. Yeah, it is 2:45. So let's just say probably 3:45 or before I'll come on and do another live. Maybe you want to invite your friends. This website, they don't have to go on my podcast to go to the website and see the medical proof. So if you want to share that with other people or invite them onto the live podcast, then I'm happy to do that, okay? Oh gosh, I'm slow at typing. All right, so B Bell Mom 09. I'm patient. I'll wait for you. I won't sign off if you have a question that you want me to answer. I'm new and love some. Oh gosh, I'm slow typing. Are you saying I'm new and would love some, or are you saying you can just type yes, that you want to know how she did that? And does that blow your mind what she did? Oh, would love more information. Okay. So I guess I'm not taking a break yet, everybody. It's okay. It's fine. Don't read it up. Okay, so what I want to share with you, B All Mom 09. I guess that's what it says. Great title. Okay, so this was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Do you get that part? They had done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people on every diet out there, mom, right? Oh, good, Catherine. Great. All right. No, don't be sorry, B. BB All Mom, okay, '09. Let me finish with her. So what the researchers did, they determined that all diets failed because calorie counting is the most ridiculous thing ever. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories, and your body doesn't run on calories. Your body runs on one fundamental principle, and that is a minimum amount, not of calories, but of nutrition. So BB All More, Mom, when you lower the amount of food you're consuming on any diet, what are you also lowering? Nutrition. When the brain senses there's not enough nutrition, it triggers the starvation mode, and your body turns your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism, and that's why you plateau on these diets and why you gain everything back. So the research is, and you also slow down your own immune system. I need to get that in. When you lose lean muscle, you're also slowing down your own immune system. Got it? Now, what the researchers did, they said, we want to change that. We want to get rid of calorie counting altogether. We're going to go select foods that have higher levels of nutrition, period. That's what their goal was. So they put together a food list that you would get also, where 30% of which you consume. So let me back up. Whatever amount of food you bought last month, this month you're only going to buy 30% at your local grocery store, wherever you are in the world. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Got it? But instead of giving you calorie counts, they're going to give you serving sizes. Because remember, what was their goal? They want to give you more nutrition in less food. Nothing to do with calories, okay? So, 5 days a week, 30% of the food from the grocery store. I didn't finish right. The other 70% comes from these exotic foods around the world, okay? From places like Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. So far, so good? So now you need to figure out how you're going to eat these foods, or the researchers did. So they invented 2 new ways of eating. So 5 days a week, you would have 4 meals a day. You'd start with only these exotic foods around the world. That's breakfast. Then you'd have lunch. Then you'd have dinner with your family, and then a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. That's called protein pacing. It's actually patented by the U.S. Patent Office, because the researchers who created this, they don't have any products. There's no products to buy. You're buying food, right? Now, that other 70% of the food that comes from around the world, like I said, that's going to be a breakfast. So 5 days a week, breakfast, the foods from around the world, regular food, lunch and dinner, and then a 4th meal. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, you're going to do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, you're going to eat them 8 times a day. You're going to be eating about every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry. We got people weighing 500 pounds. They're not hungry. Diabetics didn't see insulin spikes. In a month's time, people's hunger came down 41%. In her case, with no exercise, not only did she lose 21 pounds, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Unheard of. Never seen before. The key to this is maintenance. The key is not, can we get the weight off you? Because I haven't asked you that question yet. How much weight do you want to lose? The key is maintenance. The key is getting you to your goal, and then showing, and guess how simple maintenance is. You have your breakfast every day, these exotic foods around the world, 2 normal meals, and then maybe once every couple months, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. So in her case, she pretty much had all the weight. She lost it all in 30 days. So she's been on maintenance for 8 years and has kept it off. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Now, you'll notice above her head there in blue, we've had some problems with that. It's the new health conversation. You type that, I'll show you. Type it in Google, the new health conversation. Boom, click on there, and there's the website. And everything there is the medical proof. Only if you go there and you like what you see, because we're not going to contact you. We don't do that. We don't have time to do it. So if you like what you see, then you scroll down and get a free coach. By the way, I should tell you, those exotic foods from around the world, that 70% of what you're going to spend, listen to this, be mom. Let's see. Oh, wonderful, Penny. That's great. Okay, so my mom, be all mom 09. Does this make sense? Please give me a yes. And I want you to understand where you can go if you want to. Because if you go to that website, we're not going to contact you. I just don't think you're getting a phone call. We don't harass people. We don't need to convince you. We shouldn't have to convince anybody. If the medical proof is what I'm saying it is, but on there's an interview with the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the entire world. And he'll tell you in the interview, they'll never recommend any of these diets you're on now. He said that be unethical. They're actually making you unhealthy. And they invented this. Why would they have you take 8 weeks to lose weight? You could lose in a month. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, I'll read for all of you on the shots, the GLP-1s, and I'm not against them. They're helping diabetics and the people morbidly obese. But let's look at the success. This is the New England Journal of Medicine once weekly semaglutide study. You can go look it up. It's in the public domain. See, that's what's good about us. Everything we're sharing with you is in the public domain. So we don't have to make claims. They're not claims. Here they are. This is medical study, 68 weeks, a year and 4 months. The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. Does that sound like diets are working to you? She lost 21 pounds in a month. So I look forward. Oh, good. So yes, it makes sense. Thank you. Good. Well, thank you very much, Be All Mom 09. Make sure you have the website though. So and remember, it's the new. We had people before, they were having trouble getting on there because they didn't type the in. And again, for all of you, this is how simple it is. The new health conversation in Google, boom, it's the first thing that comes up. There's the website. Nothing to buy, all those modules. That's the medical proof that this works. Look at number 3 are the actual medical studies that you can go see. See, we're totally transparent. We don't have to trick you. Yeah, wow. Yeah, wow. Good. I'm glad you feel wow. I'm telling you right now, Be All Mom 09, when you listen to that interview with him, you'll never do any other diet. This is not a diet. You'll understand. And he's the top person in the world. So I don't want you to believe me. But you sure might want to believe him. I know it sounds too good to be true for all of you, not just you, Be Mom 09. No, it's for everybody. So isn't that crazy? Oh, you found it already. Wow, aren't you smart? And it was this one right here too, Be Mom. So when it came on, you saw the two, that Women's World was at the top, correct? That's the correct one. Oh, B-ball, like baseball. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I ask for your forgiveness? Am I cool? I'm sorry. I hate mispronouncing people's names because they do it to me all the time. So I couldn't make it out. Okay, so now I get it. B-ball Mom 09. Okay, that makes way more sense. Well, B-ball Mom, are you excited about the possibilities? Yes? Are you? Okay, good. At least you're being a good sport about it. Look, we really we know the New Health Conversation is a movement that you all can participate in. You can invite your friends. You're not there's nothing to join. You just do the protocol and you're part of the movement. Because I guarantee you, can you imagine B-ball Mom, if you go on this and you lose? By the way, if you don't mind B-ball Mom, how much would you like to lose? Just so I have a reference point. Because then I'll tell you realistically, and I'll probably under promise and overperform what you probably would want to accomplish. Okay, so you realize you probably lose it in about 5 weeks. Does that blow your mind? B-ball Mom, does that blow your mind? Is that crazy? Now I see it. Why didn't I see it before? You spelled it out perfectly. B-ball Mom. Yeah, I know. So now are you excited, B-ball Mom 09? Now that I can pronounce your name correctly, that's even better, right? Oh my gosh. Whoa, we hit 3,000 likes, everybody. Thank you. I guess you did like me after all of the content. Look, everyone, this website is for the world. It really is for the world. And I promise, B-ball Mom, when you go there, you're going to be blown away. Your jaw's going to hit the floor. You're going to go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And just to let you know, normally if you went there today and you filled out the form, there's a chance we get back to you today, but I promise in most cases we get back to people within 24 hours because we have so many people that want to do this. And coaching is more than 50% of the success, because how you do this is going to be really more important than what you're putting what you're eating, okay? I'm serious. The timing is, that's why it's called protein pacing. They've got a patent on it at the U.S. Patent Office. It must be pretty significant, right? You don't get patents on things that aren't unique. Imagine after all this time, 2 new ways of eating, never done before. Pretty cool. So, that's great. That's great. All right, everybody. Well, I am going to try and rest my voice right now. So, B-ball mom, you got in under the wire before we close the gates because I just need to race. See, I can't even talk. I can't even talk, everybody. I've talked so much. My gosh, I've been on for an hour and 44 minutes, you know? So, anyway. Oh, I have a new tie today. This a new tie, isn't it? She's infertile dirt. Saw the stream yesterday. Still love your tie. I'm pretty sure it's a different tie. I try and change my ties so that people will not think it's exactly the same because it's not. All these are obviously driven by what you. Yeah. So you like this one? Am I doing good with the solid ties? I'm going to keep it up since I have tie fans now. That's cool. And infertile dirt. Did you get a chance to go to the website yet? I'm just curious. All right, well, it's okay, infertile. If you don't have time to answer, that's cool, because I was going to end this podcast anyway. No, just stopping by. I'm thin. Oh, cool. Yeah, but infertile, you have to understand that you're still toxic, right? I went over that with you yesterday. The fact you're thin, you still have the main reason to do this is not to lose weight, but it's to remove toxins from your body. So I would say you might want to get my book, The TDOS Syndrome, and then you might change your mind about whether you think you need to detox or not, because the medical evidence is overwhelming. They did a study, just to let you know, infertile dirt. Crazy ties are fun. Yeah, they are. But listen to me. They did a study on newborn infants about 8 years ago, and they found that every baby coming in the world in their cord blood at birth, they had about 287 toxic chemicals in their blood at birth. So I'm sad to tell you, you probably have about 1,000 chemicals embedded. Even though you're thin and it's not showing up on the outside, it's inside your body. They did a big study about 6 years ago. It was called Just Because You're Thin Doesn't Mean You're Healthy. They did MRIs of men and women who are in really good shape, and they found around the brain, around the heart, around breast tissue, prostate in men, this white halo of this toxic fat, because your body doesn't know what else to do with these chemicals except stuff them in fat that you still have on your body. You still have visceral fat, even though it's not showing up necessarily on the outside of your body. So just a word of caution. Do whatever you want to do, but those toxins aren't going to do you any good in the long term. They're also raising inflammation in your body. They're robbing you of the absorption of nutrients, and they're raising your inflammation, whether you know it or not. Just a word of caution, okay? All right, everybody, I am going to sign off now, and like I said, so now it's almost, let's see, it's 3 o'clock in the East Coast, so figure I'll probably come on around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time again. I just got to rest my voice. Thank you all for being here today, though.